Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip of Anatomy of the Church and State. Be sure to catch the full episode on Rumble or ChristiansForLiberty.com. Links are in the show description.
And I thought this was a powerful line here, so I kind of want you to expand on it. You said when you vote that your vote could potentially last for an eternity. Expand on that.
So this is a concept that blew my mind when I first heard it. And there's a guy in my church who is a Air Force pilot. The area where I live is in Pastors, right near an Air Force base, and he's just one of those guys that thinks on another level, right? And he was talking about we were having a Bible study, and he was talking about the fact that God is outside of time, and how all of our decisions, God views them from a timeless state, meaning that he already is where we will decide. And I know that kind of blows our mind, but I think that we discount the clock that's ticking. And John 9 said, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night comes where no man can work. I think that we will look back and have great regret by how we constrained the spread of the gospel because we muted our voice on some of these issues. And so the brightest light, and no one can, debate this, the brightest light that is still shining in the darkness of this world is the United States. It is still the number one sending nation of missionaries. It still, has the most number of, churches and all of this. I mean, it still is. And there's not a loss for hope, right? But I really believe that we will look back from eternity, and we will look back on this time period, the short time period, and we will say, I wish I would have just gotten off my couch for those, how many ever elections you have in your life. And here's the other crazy thing. What do you have? Like 20, 25 elections in your life left? So, I mean, really, you couldn't get off your couch for 20 times just to do your part? So the irresponsibility of it, I think, has eternal ramifications, and certainly preaching the gospel is the biggest priority. So I'm not saying that this is the greatest priority, but I'm just saying it is a priority. So to not talk about it, I think what we do is we really minor on a major. We are silent about something that is a great gift that God's given. And so God's given us this free nation that is a beacon of hope and light in our society. And I know it's dimming, and I know it looks grim. However, the church is the only thing that can turn this thing around. And the church has always been God's plan A for the propagation of the gospel. And if our country goes the route that it is going right now, it will, like in, places like Alberta, Canada, which was the most conservative area of Canada, it will be a tyrannical state, and it will prohibit and inhibit the church from moving forward to preach the gospel, and we will regret it. And by the way, look up Pastor Snyder, who was the first Christian pastor to be martyred by the hand of Nazis. Look up Paul Snyder. Look up his church and look up what happened. And all it was him kind of going against the government's, narrative. And they put him in prison for a while, and then they said, okay, if you stop, we won't put you in prison again. And then, they let him out. He didn't stop, and then they said, okay, we're gonna move you. So they moved him. I mean, they kept doing this. They kept moving all these things, warning, and then finally they just killed him. And so, I think that we think, oh, that's not going to happen. Listen, they're going to be locking up pastors for hate speech soon, and very soon. And when I say that, I mean that they're going to basically say, they're no longer about toleration, and they're crossing the line into celebration. Like, if you don't celebrate it, then you're hateful. But there'll come a day where it'll be participation. It'll be, hey, if you don't participate in this activity, then you're hateful. So that bar is moving. So we have to ask, where are we going to stand? Are we going to stand when they're like, hey, you don't have enough people on your staff that are, no, we need to stand now. And we need to say, hey, listen, this is the most loving thing I can do is tell you the truth.
Yeah, no, there's mountains of evidence that God is passing judgment on America right now. And now is the time to right this ship, because you're right. It's only going to get worse.